Inclusive, in-depth analysis of local, regional, and international sports, bringing you the best in sports debate and up-to-the-minute information and statistics. Sports Wrap, every Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. 2 exciting hours of pure exciting sports talk. The experts are in the house. Sports Wrap, every Thursday evening, only on the big station, only on Q95. Lock it in.
Good evening, and welcome to your favorite sports program, Sports Wrap. Everybody, I'm sure, is glued to Q95 on a Thursday night, and I am Lucky Sebastian. Together with me is
Emmanuel Black
and
Thompson Fontaine.
Doc. I've spoken to you about that already. It's Dr. Thompson Fontaine. You're not learning, and I know you're one of the brightest men in Dominica. So please pay attention, Thompson. Yeah. So Ronald will join us in a while. We haven't seen him yet. Ronald Lander. And tonight we have a packed program, packed program for you. We first have football. Evie Lawrence Pierre will join us. Then we have Ronald Charles, the same Ronald Charles, who will be talking to us about cycling. We also have Clifford Vidal, the sports teacher of the college, they won the Under-20 cricket championship. He'll be joining us for a few minutes. We also have Godwin Dossett, who will be talking to us about athletics. School athletics started today, the secondary school. And then we have Sir Andy Roberts, who will be joining us on prime time at 7 o'clock for half an hour. So
Nice.
This, in fact, Thompson, last week was the 50th anniversary of when Andy made his debut in 1974.
Wow.
The 6th of March, the first test match against England last week. So he'll be joining us about 7 o'clock to talk about his debut and West Indies cricket in general. So nice program we have tonight. And
Wow.
I'm sure everybody's looking forward to it. I'm sure people will want to hear Sir Andy to hear, because, like they say, Tom, he was the grandfather. He started,
Yes.
and then you had Mikey Holding, you had Wayne Daniel, you had Croft,
Malcolm
you had
Marshall.
Marshall,
Tanner.
Patrick Patterson, Courtney Walsh,
Colin
Ambrose.
Croft.
Yeah. So Andy was the grandfather, so he will tell us about when he made his debut, how he was able to help out the other guys. We also have to talk about the Ford Commission. The Windwards struggling at the moment. Windwards, they have the back foot. Trinidad have the
Yes.
Windwards on the back foot. Yeah. So,
But I still feel they're going to win this one, though.
well, somebody has to make 100, or bodies have to make 100. Two of them have to make 100. So let us hope tomorrow Alec can make 100. He's still batting. Sozano, Ambrose is still there. We still have Walker. They still men that can bat. So if Windwards can set them something like 250, Windwards should be able to pull through. So
Be able to roll it, yeah, absolutely.
yeah, so let's hope for the best tomorrow. But Thompson, as we talk about sports, and I have to go back local, and I don't understand, Lobby, every time in Dominica, a facility has to be bought. Sports is always the one that is suffering. We had this problem in Calibishi this week, where you have people who were demonstrating and blah, because for their playing field. I just don't understand why it is that in this modern time, people think they can build facilities and leave sports. And Lobby Thompson and as Ronald comes in, we can talk about a lot of playing fields that have been destroyed. Look at Maho, what they have done. The playing field is smaller. Cassie Bruce, you remember Cassie Bruce used to be a big field. We had Saint-Sauveur. Remember Saint-Sauveur when they built a school for only 30 people? It's a problem. And everywhere you go, it's Cochrane as well. They have no problem housing, but they put buildings on the Cochrane playing field. And everywhere it is, sports is suffering. And I just don't understand. I don't know if you guys, by the way, let's welcome Ronald. Good night, Ronald.
Good night.
Yeah, and it's just a problem in Dominica. Even where you're from, Thompson and Grandford, they took so many years before they could complete the playing field.
Yeah, it is very troubling to me, Sibo, for someone who loves sports and who believes that sports is probably one of the best things that young people can engage in after education. And the fact that systematically we see this government destroying, facilities that are already in place. I'm being told that they're saying that they will not be able to use the Kalibishi field for the next 2 years. What's
Can
going
you
to happen
imagine
to
that?
these young men during that time? We see the misuse of the one in Baffin State and the Windsor Park being totally out of commission for sports people. So I believe that this is a government that really could care less, and it's almost like they're waging a war against the young people, and you wonder why. I feel sometimes as the government is waging a war against the young people of Dominica, and the question is why are they doing this? And you saw this young man who was very eloquent, who told the prime minister to his face that he had destroyed his dreams, as a young person in Dominica. And I think the same can be said for scores and scores of men and young men and women across Dominica. Their dreams have been destroyed by this government, and that is just a reality. And it is truly shameful. It is really is. And you wonder why this government is doing this. They failed to give the young track athletes, track and field facility for all those years. They've taken away the football from Roseau. I mean, the list just goes on and on. It's almost a constant, it's one that doesn't stop. It's constant. It's unrelenting against the young people. And it's truly sad. Truly, truly sad.
Well,
Yes.
Lobby, I'm sure you want to comment on that, Lobby.
Well, Sebastian, but it's obvious, Sebastian. First of, what is very interesting, I mean, say, look, Fontaine is out there in these countries. I can tell you he sees the need for sports and recreation in these countries. You look, for example, you look at China in particular. I can say so without a doubt. All right, how they promote healthy living through activities, healthy lifestyle. Whatever they do, there must be wisdom where people can recreate, people can partake in, physical activities. All right, then, Sebastian. First of all, Sebastian, what happened there, gentlemen, at Kalibishi should never happen in the first case. It looks as Landa been talking about management. All right, that is poor planning. But we have to remember what's very, very interesting, dear gentlemen, is the Dominica Grammar School. The Chinese provide a basketball court, they concreted the playing field, all right? So they can, so the workmen or who they have there can partake in physical activities. But here in this country, we are shutting them off, all right?
Yeah,
But
it's
what,
just sad.
no, see, but you had one, I looked at me, I salute this young man doing very well. Very,
Oh, the
very
one
well.
who took on the prime minister.
Yeah, the man was
Yeah.
was a good act.
No,
He
but
was
he
a
was
good.
honest. He spoke straight. I mean,
No, that's Sebastian. The guy was a very promising athlete. He went overseas. You can hear he came back when he came back to Dominica. When he saw the state, he has been lamenting for years. I mean, to say he cannot believe it. Windsor, they have no access to the Windsor Park.
Lobby, hold on.
Look at
All the lights going. Let's just take a cup. Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. Sibo, a question I would like to ask.
Go on.
We have a cabinet with 26 people in it.
I don't know the number, to be honest.
Well, I had maybe around maybe 21, 20, in the 20 something people. Sibo, how many people in that cabinet played sports? Only one I understood is the Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar. I know Oscar played cricket for sure. I know that. For
A
sure.
long time ago in Bethlehem.
Not long. He's not an old man. I mean, I manage him on the 19th, so he's not an old man.
Okay, I seen him doesn't look fit like a cricketer.
He's still playing cricket. I hear him playing intermediate cricket. So
all right then.
in the weekends.
But Sibo, so what do we expect? We are playing field at Emsall, apartments on it. And when the Chinese were living in Emsall, the Chinese build a recreation place there for them to play their basketball. The same thing they're doing at the back of the grammar school there. And if you look at where they building they say they're building the airport. You see they set up their recreational spot for them to play their basketball and whatever sporting activity they have to do play there. In Baffin State, the one in Baffin State is for what you call that again? A practice drive. When you go and when you go and teach people to drive at night and teach people to drive in the day. That is the one for Buffet State. And the others, I can't say much about them. So what we expect nothing. We have all sporting people we have here doing in cabinet, none of them play sports. Real sports, especially you have a man that sit down. Of course, that boy has stupidity. I don't think he play with Google. Bye-bye.
You know, what I don't understand also, Ronald will have to join me. Tom, you see civil standing there. You have a problem with playing field. And you would expect the public servant to know about plans, to come and explain. But everybody's in the background like they're scared. Everybody. And one guy talking, he's everything. Everything. One guy. And everybody sit down there like the dotish. Everybody. Yeah. Another caller. Good evening.
Yes, Chico.
Yes, sir.
For me, the very first time that happened in by Eugenia Charles, take a stadium at Royalville and put business in it, and no sportsman rebel in that.
Well,
So
you're
that's
right.
why they take advantage of us. Eugenia Charles is the first person that did it, in Kenfield. A stadium well built. The woman is stick and has put business inside of it, and no sportsman, no rebel, say nothing. They did it, so that's why they take advantage of us. I remember that,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody opened their mouth, so they take advantage of us.
Yes. Good night, Ronald.
Yes. Good night. It's unfortunate with lack of planning that the sports division has not taken a clear position on the development of sports and playing fields in Dominica. And we see playing fields being violated. A caller just called a few minutes ago and spoke about the stadium that PG had put down in Canefield. And the Dominica Freedom Party decided that they're going to put factory shells in there. And nobody said anything. Then we came to Roseau, and we had the Windsor Park and the technical wing. And the government decided they're going to put a stadium in there, and technical wing just disappeared, and sports in Roseau has disappeared. The quality of sports in football, in cricket, in basketball has deteriorated. We have to go back to ground zero and build up again. And this is very, very critical. We see in Pottersville, and interestingly, nobody in Pottersville is protesting. Sibo, remember in Celtic, we had two concrete
Playing
wickets
field.
there,
Yes.
out there, and guys were playing on the other areas of the field. And continuously we were playing there. Botanical Gardens, as a youngster coming from Bath Road, we played at Botanical Gardens. And we were always active as youngsters.
Yep.
But on
Yep.
the other side of the coin, the culture, the socialization in Dominica has been transformed over the last 2 decades. Youngsters are not interested in sports like before
Why?
because of the culture. They're interested in riding those mobilettes and smoking their spliff on the side of the road.
Well,
Yes, sir. The
Ronald,
last
maybe we
instance-
have no facilities to play as well. That is probably a deterrent as well. If you have nowhere to play, you would be interested. Would you
Yeah,
agree?
That's
exactly.
one
For example, the guys in the grammar school, the students in the grammar school, when you guys went to grammar school, you had the facilities there. The field was there. The playing ground was there.
They're the best
football,
spots there.
during school, you'd be encouraged to play. All of these are gone.
And you had a like Fergus, Hesse Fergus Dadai was a groundsman, so you always had. In fact, you had to play Thompson when we went to school.
Yes,
Grammar
you
school.
do.
You had, if you didn't play, you had to get an if you couldn't take part in PE, you would have to get an excuse from your parents. So you had to play.
Right.
And as you say, we had the ground where we could play. You could, in fact, in the afternoons after school, if you don't go down there early, when there's a big game, if you come too late, you can't play. So many guys there waiting to play.
But see, we look at St. Mary's Academy. They didn't have a playing field,
Yeah.
but they were actively involved in sports.
And in fact, Grammar School against Academy in those days was a big game
Football.
where they took it of football. In those days, it was a contest in those days. But no, as I said, nowhere for people to play. And as I said, there's nothing wrong in putting apartments, but people need places to play. And take for instance, Calibish, Thompson just mentioned 2 years. Can you imagine you in a community and you have nowhere you can play for 2 years? What do you expect young people to do? 2 years, they have nowhere to go and play a little football, play a little cricket. The young ladies to play a little rounders. I mean, what is that? That
And
is
it's
a
the only
joke.
sport they have. Is the only place they have. They have
Yeah,
only one
that area
place.
there, yeah.
And
And it's just wrong, man. It's wrong.
But it comes back as I've been saying continuously on planning and programming, an integrated development plan. What's your sports plan?
None, they have none.
What are we going to do? And we see some young talent emerging. How can we use those talent as examples to develop more talent and create opportunities for young people to excel?
We have a good evening, caller.
Yes, my brothers. What's up, my brothers? What's up?
We're good.
Well,
Good,
you're
good.
talking about something very interesting, which is sports, and sports is health. And without the sports recreation, there's a separation, a division within the children. Now we're supposed to take that to the school, where we're supposed to help the school, where the school in itself is supposed to have its real sporting facilities. Now we have the school children meeting together in the Windsor Park. You know what I mean? Now we have no sport meet, no school competition, nothing at all.
Did you see the
So
meet
that
for
is-
today in Windsor Park? Did you see the meet?
So that is-
I unfortunately I couldn't see it because I was kind of busy
that
doing
is
some work.
demolishing the whole system of sports. But man like Sebastian, I used to go in the gardens and watch those fellas hitting ball from the gardens to the grammar school. And we used to look for the ball for them and send it back. Even we had little boys in the grammar school. When the ball come there, we know exactly where the ball go, and send the ball for them. Yes, that was sport. But now we have the sporting facility that, that we should uplift it. We have to change it to what? A festival ground. And the festival ground is like crippling all the facilities that we have. So in closing, let me call on the Prime Minister. Let me call on his wife. You have to sit down on a side and have a little meeting with yourself and say, what are we doing in sports in Dominica? And then we are going to have some sporting games on the weekend. Back in the park again. Check Landa. Landa will help you all. Check Sebastian. Sebastian has some great ideas because he was a sportsman. So in closing, fellas, Ronnie, tell them about it because I've been there into it where we can bring back the Windsor Park.
Thank you, brethren. Thank you, man.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Next call. Hold on, Robbie. I have another caller. Good evening. Yeah, good evening. Good evening.
Yes, mister.
Yes,
How
sir.
you doing to you and your crew tonight?
Good night, man. Good night. Good night.
People, I would like to make a comment.
Go ahead. Go right ahead,
Because
sir.
I just heard Mr. Landa say the young people not interested in sports. Mr. Landa, I don't think you're right on that. Sometimes we beat up on young people too much. Let me say something, people. Grown up lead and young people follow. And in the day when a man like you and lots of other great sportsmen came, there were people who laid the fruit and then you pick up from where they left. There were good people in the village. But now we're talking about a government that has taken playing fields and put concrete on it. There's no school curriculum. If you have a curriculum in the school that involves sports, a lot of kids would get into it because they have to get into the business early and grow into professional sport like how you did, how a lot of other people do. You had a great Olympian last week, So there are areas that can be developed for young people to have that kind of availability, the facilities, the school curriculum, and it's not there. And if it's not there, you cannot blame the children. We blame the government and the people who are in charge. That's who we have to blame. And maybe, I don't know. That's my point. People, I'm listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro.
Let me respond to you very quickly. I'm a social scientist. And how you culturalize people, how you socialize people impact on their performance. Our young people at this point in time are not socialized. They're not culturalized to excel, play sports. I'm very happy with the few exceptions that we have at this point in time, but generally, we don't have a serious sports program to assist people in developing their sporting activities.
What,
Do
Lobby?
we still
Okay.
have the schools? Do we still have the schools set up, the house system?
I'm not too sure of that. I know. I'm not too sure what's happening in
Jubilee
our
House
school,
and
what's in SMA. But I know today they had some athletic meet. I'm not too sure what happened in that meet today.
Well, Godwin just said promised to speak to us tonight, so he will tell us what's happening. We
Yes.
had athletics, secondary school athletics today. And
Yes,
continues
Sebastian.
tomorrow. Yes, Lobby.
Yes, Sebastian, just to continue talking on what's happening to us. First of all, Sebastian, as I told you from the beginning, I salute this young man, which I know very well. He was on point. It says a guy, he spoke from deep within. He was hurting as an individual.
You mean our guy who grew up by close to the Windsor Park there, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he was a good, I tell us, a good athlete. I'm very happy that he took on football after, all right, and it's very, very serious. But Sebastian, let us look at, first of all, yes, you're talking about the schools meet, gentlemen, the schools meet. As I said earlier, in grammar school in particular, I go back at grammar school where they had the best sports day on the sun, the best sports day. And when you play different sports, it helps you as an individual down the road. All right? It helps you a great deal as an individual down. That's when we had great sportsmen in the past. All right? Besides being an athlete, but just being a spectator, it helps you to grow. Go and support your school. Now, I'll give you something that happened in my tenure in years in Dominica coaching. In the state, I look at the stadium. We have like a shot put circle at the back of the unknown stand, where your name should have been there. See, but I call it the unknown stand. And then you know that where the shot put was landing fountain, they put a generator there, you know. No, but this is look. We had a very good landing
we
mat.
had a long jump pit in the Windsor Park as well.
I come to that just now. We had a high jump mat we got from the international body, which was housed in the stadium. They put that in the rain. They removed it. Wasn't very a lot of frustration. Now, what I want to when Gordon comes on, Sebastian, you must ask him where they have in long jump and triple jump.
Well, you will be there, Louis, so I will expect
because
you and
what
the
happens
athletics man to lead the discussion there when he comes on.
No, I will just say that what happened with the building going on in the grammar school right now, this area which we had a pit with a run up that was dug up, So I don't know what is happening now. It says it's very, very frustrating.
But Lobby, you have a whole sports division. What are they doing?
Good question.
How are they programming? How are they organizing sports, different type of sports in Dominica? What are they doing in the sports division?
Let's take it on. Hold on, Lobby. All the lights going there. Good evening.
A critical point. You got somebody in there?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Good evening.
Yes, good afternoon, Sibo, Ronald, and Lobby.
Hold on a while. Just yesterday I was asking. I haven't heard your voice. For weeks and months I was wondering if you're okay.
Sibo, all kind of problem. Internet. I'm tired of going to Flow. I say not going back again. Right now, I have an Android box. I have to be watching the cricket on my phone.
Wow.
And I had to go outside to go to play cricket. So 3 o'clock in the morning outside watching
my goodness.
Not Australia.
India and England.
Okay. I'm tired of going to them. All kind of problems.
Wow.
Right now I'm close. I'm just about 6 feet from if I
in fact, even now you crack it up.
Exactly, because I move a little.
We hardly hear you.
I move a little. How it is now?
It's good now.
All right. See, but Ron made a point about the Pottersville playing field. And he got a good opportunity to turn the Pottersville ground to a really first class ground by extending the playing field to where the school is presently and building the school further, because I went at the back and there's space at the back where they could build the school. Maybe a 3-story, 2-story or 3-story thing. Here it is, they go to build the school, the same place it is, and then they still going to remain the same way. See, I play cricket in Calibishi and Ansdini, all those places, you know. And they want to put the school on flexibility. As Blue Blues, some of them never play sports, so they never play. Sibo with Castle, right. They never play when to press for us to catch Casmabal, so let's expect anything better. I'm listening.
Thank you,
so
bro.
Right now I have to be listening to you all on my phone.
Sorry about that, man. Sorry.
So going back to queue to get you on my phone to listen to you.
Well. So, another caller. Good evening, caller.
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
This one is for Ronald Landa. He came
Good
from
night.
beyond space.
Henry Pullett, you a fast bowler.
Hello, go on.
Go ahead, Henry Pullett.
Hello? Okay, next caller. We lost him. Good evening.
You know,
Good evening.
Yes?
You hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you.
How are the boys? How are the boys?
Hey, Babs, what's up? What's up?
Hey, good night, Babs Dyer.
I want to send condolences to a sportsman who is going to be buried on Saturday morning. His name is Govelo Toussaint.
Oh, yes.
You serious?
Yeah.
I'm shocked. You serious?
Yeah, left arm medium pace bowler.
Babs, you serious?
Yes.
He played for
I didn't know
Blackburn's left arm medium pace.
Won the Gregwood League First Division Championship. He was part of that team with David Schillingford, Henry Irwin,
and he was a good professional too, a quantity surveyor.
Right.
And Richard Pablo, Fitzroy Schillingford. Even Justice Albert Matthew had returned and played for Blackburn. So he was part of that Blackburn that's the first time we got the championship. So I want to send condolences to his wife, Zetma, who was a nurse, you know, very
Yeah, I know. I didn't know Govelo died.
a recognized nurse, and she was in charge of the I think he was a good surveyor. A lot of people know, and
Yep.
so he's going to be buried, from my understanding, on Saturday morning
In St. Joseph?
At St. Joseph.
In St. Joseph, okay.
So again, sympathy to his children, his wife, and children, and his family.
Oh, my God. Thank you, Babs.
Okay, Babs. Thank you very much.
We have another caller, probably the last one before we take a break. Good evening.
Good evening, Sibo.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and the crew. Lobby, Ronnie, and Thompson.
Yes. Yeah, man.
Man, when I hear you guys talking about Goodwill School and the field and the conditions and the things that we had when we were youth, man, I remember Lobby might remember that. But I remember Ruby recruited me from seeing me spinning on the side while the big boys were practicing, and that's why I made Goodwill School side. I was there spinning, from a team field and they're spinning a little ball. And we say, what? Let him do that again. No, man, come and practice. Come and train the side. And we had field, they had the concrete thing there, fellas.
Yep.
On there. Without pads, man.
Yep.
Things there. You come and practice there. And nowadays, I passing around. When I go there, I just see no signs of nothing for this friend to play sports. So, we can't really blame them. But, the system really failed us bad, man.
Well, the guy put it nicely. The guy who spoke to them, they fail people, they fail young people. He put it rightly.
Yeah. They mash up dreams. From that, I went to community high school. I played. When I made the side in those days at Goodwill School, I played against your brother, Smith.
Right.
Playing for grammar school. When Goodwill School go and play, I made the little team. And I went to grammar school. I played all my years with Smith and Milton. Maxwell, everything, and all them, man. We played cricket. I played cricket till I was done in school, and from big man.
It was a natural thing to play sports, my brother.
Exactly.
True.
Yeah, it was just something else. I took out by Ronnie and them up there. Me and Tudai partners going on gardens, community high school, playing cricket. It's just something else now, man. I can understand that. And we have to get this youth back to get involved in the sports now, early. But if we keep taking away their facilities, how are they going to even be encouraged, man?
True.
It's crazy, man.
Well said,
guys,
boss.
Good program. I always listen in.
Yeah, man. Well said.
So I get you.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll take a break. We're going to have to take a break. Our partner, Joel Matthews, here. He was supposed to come here this afternoon. But he's listening to us, Joel Matthews. We'll take a break now, guys.
Does he still play?
Well, he lives in Florida, but he's been here. He's going back next week. So I told him, he listens all the time, right here. Anyway, we'll take our first break now.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth. Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Okay, we're back. And gentlemen, we have with us the PRO of the Dominica Football Association, Mr. Ebby Lawrence. Good night, sir.
Good night, Mr. Sebastian. How are you?
I'm good. And, well, of course, the panelists are here. Everybody else is here.
Okay, good night, gentlemen. How is everything okay? It's just ringing on the back of my hood, but nonetheless,
Oh, you have rain up by you in Brentford, all right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm sure a lot of farmers would welcome the rain.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Well, let's go straight to it. I mean, you had football opening last week. Tell us what happened.
We had the opening of the President's Cup, 32 teams. And we have the round 32 going on as we speak. Presently, Wayne George Academy made it through to the second round, 16. And Promex Harlem. These were the two teams on Saturday that made it through. On Sunday, Connect 767 East Central made it through, and as well as DSFC. As we speak, Belfast Estate Mawosoka Strikers is playing Maribel Parish United as we speak. And on Saturday, we will have Central Cooperative Credit Union Dublin coming up against PDVA Caribe. And at 6 p.m., we'll have Bath Estate coming up against St. Joseph. That is on Saturday in the round 32. On Sunday, we will have RC Doctors coming up against the Police. And at 6 p.m., Corio coming up against Tajico Southeast. At 4 p.m. that very Sunday, Granville FC will be playing the Northern Stars at Benjamin Park. So that's the round 32 that is going on. So those qualified thus far for the round 16 are Wayne George Academy, Promex Harlem, Connect 767, and DSFC. We await the results of tonight's game and the weekend's game for the round 16 as we speak. But we will have, as we've mentioned before, a competitive season going forward.
Well, who are the teams playing this week? Which teams are playing this weekend?
As we As we speak,
I'm not talking about tonight. I'm talking about this weekend.
Okay, this weekend, Central Cooperative Credit Union Dublin meets with PDV Caribe Point Michel at 4 p.m.
That's where, is that Stock Farm?
Yes, at Stock Farm. That estate comes up against St. Joseph, 6 p.m. at Stock Farm as well, the very Saturday. On Sunday, RC Doctors comes up against Police at 4. Surgical Southeast comes up against Corio at 6. And the other game, Granvilla FC, comes up against Northern Stars at the Benjamin Park at 4. So this is the weekend fixture as we speak.
Okay, thanks. So what about, did you have crowds last weekend at Stock Farm? Were there people watching the games?
Yes, the game was carried live, broadcasted live, and we had as well a very appreciative crowd. And as we move forward, we will be seeing much more of that as we move ahead with the knockout phase of our football.
When you say broadcasted live, it was live on radio or television?
It was live on television, it was live on radio, and as well social media. And this is one of the pros that we are working with going forward. So as we speak, I am presently in discussions with some of the media houses and capable sports persons to really help in the marketing front of our football.
What you said in marketing, explain that.
It is simple language. Football was not marketed the way it's supposed to be marketed, and right now we are putting something different that is Dominican product that others can emulate along the way. Gone are the days of football was just coming and stick the scores. We're going to highlight our players, highlight the teams, highlight the sponsors. It's an all-encompassing way forward for the football. We promote the athlete of the day, the goalkeeper of the day, the striker of the day. So it's going to be a different ethos as we move forward. And we will be doing that together with the corporate citizens. But everything cannot be spoken on the radio because it's not concretized, for want of a better word. We are just putting that in motion.
Yes. I love the name Wayne George. I maybe know him by face, but I don't know him in person. But this guy has been involved in football for quite a while with young people. One of the areas, as you said, that you all are promoting and marketing football, that we have discussed on Sports Wrap with different clubs, with Kensbro, it was introduced by Harlem, is a benefit game for Dana Ito. Dana Ito was a national player. And I would like the Football Association to get involved with Kensbro and Harlem to see how we could put together a benefit game for Dana Ito. That would promote football, that would position football in a very positive way.
Well, the Dominican Football Association is open to all its stakeholders, and a gesture like that is welcoming, because one of the things that we've lamented is that sometimes we see the veterans of the game not being properly known by especially the young ones that are coming. So going forward, we could sit around the table and discuss the best possible way to carry it and push it ahead. So this is not one that will just be pushed aside, but we could work together to better the very thing you're talking. And at the same time, I want to thank Mr. Carrington for being...
Yeah, George Carrington, that's a very good guy.
Very good gesture he came up with during the weekend by allowing us and affording us the opportunity to name a player of the weekend, a player of the game, so by donating trophies. So it seems, like I say to persons, there are times we do not have to just say everything, but moving stride by stride, we will make the difference. So I want to thank Mr. George Carrington and those that have been around him to really push it, the gesture of recognizing the athlete.
But please, PRO, please engage Kensbro and Harlem to see who can get that initiative going forward. I think that's a very good public support for football in Dominica.
This PRO gives you the word that with immediate effect, he will take it to the executive. And in closing, I just want to continue to encourage the clubs for this weekend to really show and send the under 20 players for the upcoming events that will be held. And there is a coach from the US, and last week I got blows for that, but like I say to all stakeholders, it doesn't take the DFA to raise someone's academic grade if he or she doesn't want to push. There is a way now we are doing it. That's not to be spoken on the radio right now because it's being discussed. But what is going to happen going forward that our athletes must match up academically. So yes, you may have the talent, but there is a way within the FA that we are going to have our athletes to match up with those that are not academically inclined to bring them to the place that we want them. But at the same time, this weekend, there is a coach from the US will be there from 9 to 12 on Saturday and Sunday to really look at what is happening within the under 20 and under 17 league of our games and take it forward, because we normally people would sit at the side and say the DFA is doing nothing for the footballers, but this is one of the opportunities this new executive have taken up, how we can better our young men and women by affording them scholarships. And I will not speak much on that for now, as it's in the embryonic stages, but going forward, I can guarantee you, like I have stated before, this is a new thing that is happening within the gates and walls of the FA.
Question for you.
A very quick question for Evie before he leaves. I'm very much encouraged, Evie, about your new effort to promote the sports and so on. But I was wondering, I've struggled in the past to get scores. Something like recording the scores. I've checked Facebook. Your Facebook pages are going back to 2023. How can somebody wanted to get to be up to date with the scores? How can they access those?
Okay. The person that was manning the Facebook page before was from Sweden, but going forward, there is a way we are doing it now. We have been recording and putting the scores. That's why I was saying earlier on, we'll be highlighting the players, so the scores will be placed. But like I said to some people, and even to the radio, those that are listening, as the PRO, there are times it's beyond my own doing, because I live Grand, I have to be at the games. But as soon as the results are made available, I will use the limited resources that I have within my powers to post the games and have others doing it. But going forward, there is a new system we've developed by including the data, so it will be coming up automatically. But this is going to be a test run this weekend, so this weekend will be a test run as to how well the app works. So people will just be seeing what is going on as we move, as we speak. This is a test run that is going to happen for this weekend's game.
Lobby, you have a question for him? Lobby?
We're not hearing you, Lobby.
We're not hearing you, Lobby.
You hear me now right now?
Yeah. Go on.
Yes, the question I have for him is we just concluded the under 20 footballers, and you've been talking about opportunities during our tours, our involvement, competitions with our youth, and they're having scouts. Are we unlucky? Don't anybody's in a scout, any young player?
Yeah. Well, before you answer that question, PRO, I have a supplementary question for what Lobby is saying. What is the young potential talent? Who should we be looking out for? Which is in collaboration that Lobby is speaking about. Who should we be looking out for? What are the young players, young footballers should be looking out for?
I mean, one of these days I must come to your program and sit on the table and
exactly.
Take the fire.
You're very right. You must come in the studio, right?
Come to the studio and take the fire. But presently in Dominica, we have a number of athletes. We speak of Adriel Lawrence. We speak of.
You can single out a few. Single them out.
I'm just singling out. Adriel Lawrence. We have Dequan Abraham.
What position do they play? What position do they play?
The Adriel is a striker, Dequan midfielder, Fabio striker. We have a formidable goalkeeper in the person of young Elwa. We have quite a few young men.
But just now,
Dominica.
Listen to me now.
No, you asked a question, so let me answer.
No, you haven't answered mine.
But he's answering you, Lobby.
But I'm answering you.
He's answering you now. Go on.
I'm answering you. So, hence, the under 20 just came out from Trinidad. Did a scout look at them? I cannot answer you that because I wasn't in Trinidad, but I know ipso facto. I know for a very fact that some of them are being considered as we speak presently to further the skills and talent. That's why I'm saying there is not everything the FA will speak going forward because there are things that are in the embryonic stages. But as soon as it is developed, the nation and the people will know.
Okay.
We lost you?
No, I'm there.
Okay. Right. Okay, well, thank you very much. I know you have other things to say about, so we'll speak to you again next week. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us the information.
One of these days I will sit in the studio with you all.
Well, we'll hold you to that, eh? We'll hold you to that.
Still football. One minute football.
Thank you. Huh?
Football. Why not football? Do not forget, you had the final of the CONCACAF Gold Cup women last week.
Brazil against Brazil?
USA beat Brazil 1-0.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes, and just now, come back again. The men, the Gold Cup men will be in July. Will be in June and July. And listen to that. You have You have teams from North America, Central America, and the Caribbean. All right, they are put in zones. So what happened? You have Trinidad. The only other Caribbean country they're playing Canada in a playoff. Jamaica already qualified. They'll be in a tough zone with Brazil in zone D, Jamaica. All right, so we are looking for big football in the Caribbean, and that's what I am talking about, Sebastian, in terms of our young players. When we go, because look, the opportunities are there. We never had this before. We are member of FIFA, gentlemen, which you all know, and we are exposed to big football from the youth level to the senior level, both male and female, and that is where you have these huge opportunities. All right, the scouts are there. They are senior. So we have to, not just go and play, we have to emphasize on the players. They have to improve on the standard. All right, not just the football, right?
Bobby, we're going to switch sports now. We have a guy, Thompson, you know him very, very well. He's the president of the Cycling Association.
Ronald Charles.
Ronald Charles.
Ronald Charles.
Good night, sir.
Good night to you, gentlemen. It is always a pleasure to be in the mix of distinguished gentlemen. And I want to, I don't want to do it deliberately, but let me single out my political leader, Dr. Thompson.
I know that's what you're going to do. I know that.
Do not call him your political leader. Just call him a brilliant guy.
I know that's what you're going to do.
The discussion now. Leave the politics out and just say a brilliant
guy.
But
you realize I said distinguished gentlemen. I think the entire panel falls within that hierarchy of good men of Dominique.
Yes. Right, Ronald. Now, your athletics your cycling is not started. In fact, Co-op Brown, I think he was in the Bahamas last weekend, and he did some outstanding stuff, right?
That is very correct. First of all, thank you for inviting me. Yes, Co-op Baron participated in Bahamas in a free stage race, which would basically mean like 3 races in one. And he won overall in this competition. A matter of fact, for each of the categories, he came out first. So it was, and he won by 1.5 miles on the 84-kilometer race. So 84 miles, sorry. So it was really, really good for him because, as you can tell, couple months and couple competitions he attended. The results were not as we expected. However, it had a lot to do with his equipment and sometimes just miscalculation on certain things. So we were very, very happy for him as an organization. And again, we want to thank the DOC for assisting in this regard because it was a last-minute move to get him to go. And the capacity officer alongside the rest of the team tried their best so that he could go to Bahamas because the route, it was quite expensive to go there. And we appreciate that. And again, we continue to wish our cyclists all the best when they take part in competitions. While on this, of course, we have our junior championships coming very soon. It will be held in Antigua, but they are trying to kind of finalize whether or not it should be held after the CXC examinations, because as you know, one of our star boys too is Mr. Azani Kazimi. And hopefully when that tournament is held in Antigua, we are hoping that he can attend.
We also have the World Championships that's supposed to be in September of 2024. Again, we're going to try and see if we can get COAF to attend that event. And in November or October, we do have the Caribbean Championships, I believe is somewhere around there. And of course, John T. in July, of 2024. So this looks like our calendar of events, and the athletes hopefully will be attending those events. And but let me say, as it relates to our season hopefully will start on about the 7th of April, 2024. That is in the next couple of weeks. Of course, we have to get all the logistics in place to ensure that we have a smooth season. We are awaiting the confirmation from the police because, as you know, nothing cannot happen until they give the green light. So once we get that, we should put everything in place. Of course, this year we are definitely will be getting a difference because we have some young people that have kind of joined the cycling association. I must admit their hurdles would be equipment, would be getting bikes. We did something good where the Solidarity Fund for our international organization for cycling, we made applications and we were able to get 10 brand new bikes from the association, from the international body. And these are on the port. They've been cleared, or I believe they have been cleared already, because I got some information from the capacity officer. And we should have access to those bikes. Of course, with those bikes go other things and equipment as it relates to helmets, clothing, shoes, etc., etc. And that we're hoping to get. So our aim is to develop our grassroots program. While I'm on this, let me say that again, we reached out to our international body and we've got very, very, very good news from them in terms of the Solidarity Fund. And we were able to make applications for certain things that we believe that is fundamental for our development. And therefore, we got that. We got some very satisfying news. That in itself is maybe we'll discuss in detail on the next occasion, because I do not want to get everything out of the bags from now, because some cyclists might be listening. Mm-hmm. I don't want them to get to know everything. They have to come to the meeting first. So having said that, we will be working together with the DOC to ensure that some of these grassroots programs are implemented, because we're talking about some couple thousands there so that the program can elevate. We're also planning to have this year our secondary school competition. I have been bombarded with quite a number of athletes from the secondary schools. And of course, with their parents' consent, they must get that. And of course, the school must be integral in that. So we're looking to try to put something together for the summer, where you read the summer secondary school competition, because we believe there's a reservoir of young talent in Dominica as it relates to cycling, many other sports, and they need to get the exposure so that they can become a better athlete in the near future.
Question.
So this is what. Go ahead.
Question. The first question, Ronald. I'm just congratulations on the association on the work you all have been doing. I know it's a very tedious one. It's not easy. First of all, the bikes that you all receive, it will be in the custody of the association?
That is a very, very good question. Matter of fact, as soon as I finish with you, I'll be continuing a meeting with the association executive. These are some of the things that we must iron out. I mean, what we did is that when we made the application, it was for general use of persons and so forth. But we believe in order that we can capture a group of young people, we would have to leave it in the care of the association, but in the hands of the athlete.
I agree with you. Another question, Ronald. You said that you spoke about the World Championship, Championship, and you want to expose Kovac Baron.
That is correct.
Now, what sort of events will he be entering?
Well, definitely to be the under-23s. The under-23 is a category. COAF is 21 now, I believe. So he will be entering the under 23s. And
What
we
distance?
have the
What
under 23s
distance?
is the category. Sorry?
What distance he be doing?
That is a very good question because all the details, I'm not privy to some of the details. I didn't go in details as to the manual that was sent, so I'm not too sure about the distance. I know it will be held in Switzerland. I know that. But in terms of just trying to get him off there, that is what I'm working on. The other details is normally taken care by the coach who goes into the details as to the type of competitions and so.
Okay, because why I ask this question, you know that this young man who died recently, the cyclist. What's his name again?
Sanderson.
Sanderson.
Yes.
And when we were in Australia for the Commonwealth Games, the number of hurdles that had to be cleared in terms of he being, you need a van, you need someone to follow him, somebody on the road. All right, it's not like it in athletics. You get to the stadium, the coach, and everything's in place. But we realize the cycling is totally different.
Yes, definitely. What we need is that you need normally the coach escort the cyclist on a vehicle. You call them the escort cars and so. Yeah, could be a van, it could be escorts, and they normally have to be providing the necessary drinks, the eat. If they have a problem, mechanical problem, to change the tires, to do whatever they have to do. So that we have honestly improved on that. So normally you would find that when the athletes travel now, we have persons that must be present in order to assist them.
Yep.
Because if you don't have that assistance, it's like half of the race is already difficult for you.
I agree with you.
So what we're doing is that some of the solidarity projects that we ask for is mechanic, commercials, coaches, because at the end of the day, if we do not have good coaches in place, we basically will not have a sustainable event or sustainable association. We believe it's very, very important that we have those, and they have provided us with the okay to give some training as it relates to coaching, commercials. When I speak of commercials, it's the persons who are able to be on the route of the road and able to comment and to commentate on the race itself. They know the terms. They really is the race referee. In other words, they are the race referee. And of course, our coaches and our mechanics are important because as we speak now, there's only one gentleman, we do our own thing, but there's one gentleman that we know that fixed bikes in Layo, it's called Bekti, but we do not have any trained person in that field. And they have agreed to give us that opportunity to get somebody trained and so that we can have proper mechanical persons working on this bike because it's not like anybody can just do anything. But all in all, the Cycling Association is excited about this year. Well, we have gotten a lot of things organized in a more meaningful fashion, but we are totally focusing on trying to get more young persons to get into the cycling.
One question, last question for you. The last question. Knowing that the bike, what do you think is the price of a bike? Something affordable for someone?
Let's say, for example, I have what is a used bike, a used road racer, because it's different bikes. You have mountain bikes, you have BMX, you have road racers, which are different types of bikes. All right. Obviously, a BMX can be used by a young person, maybe the age 5, 6, 7. Of course, the mountain bikes are preferably, a lot of women will ride those bikes. And of course, the road racers speaks for itself. It's for racing. I have a road racer that is a used one that have been used for many, many years. And the price of it was $7,500.
EC?
And it's just a used one. For example, some of the bikes that Ajani and Co-op have, it is purchased at $26,000, $30,000.
Right, I know that. Oh yes. I'm from this costly.
And if they were to be professional, you're talking about the bikes cost $100,000.
Yep.
Well, Ronald, we know you have to go to a meeting, and I want to say thanks. Your boss didn't ask you any question, but I guess the next time.
Well, I was waiting patiently for my turn.
Well,
at
go ahead.
least
Go
at
on.
least to compliment Ronald and the Cycling Association
Do that.
for really boosting that sport in Dominica.
True.
And for really taking the sport places. It's great to hear of the opportunities being created for the various riders to go overseas and to show their craft. I know we are behind the curve in terms of where we are, where we've started, but I'm really pleased to know that we are making good progress, that there is a lot of enthusiasm and interest in cycling in Dominica. And kudos to you, Mr. Charles, for the great work that you continue to do with the rest of your team to promote the sport in Dominica.
Thank you so much. I will say this before I leave, though. If Mr. Sebastian gives me that opportunity,
Do that,
to
Quillian.
so.
Go on, do it.
Notwithstanding, our athletes are doing relatively great within the various sports disciplines. I heard the panel speak of facilities and the whole thrust to get coaches better trained. Facilities, and opportunities are lacking tremendously. And that is one of our biggest hurdles. You know, we should be able, for example, to have a system in place where the government of Dominica should be providing this necessary equipment for the cycling athletes when it comes for bikes. You know, we should be able to get a 20, 30, 40 bikes donated on a regular basis. Coaches to be able to go and study and do what they have to do.
From the
We
CBI,
have
from
to
the
take-
CBI, from the CBI.
Sorry? Well, obviously, that we're still looking for it, but I hear the painting it.
Well, you know, one thing I'll say to you and Thompson, though I hope you guys don't make the same mistake that's happening now. That's what I'll say to you. Okay, Ronald?
Definitely not. We will do our best, but while we have the energy to do what we can within our capacity, the Dominican people who are the direct recipients of the different challenges that they face economically and otherwise must stand up and must be willing to assist those who are leading to make Dominica a better place, because we cannot do it alone.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And that was the same Ronald Charles.
Very good. Very good.
Cycling, who's doing a lot of work. We'll take a break now. Take a break now. Now,
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Yes, we're back and we're just waiting on the great Andy Roberts, the legend himself, to join us, and we'll soon have him. And as he comes to join us, as I said last week, the 6th was the 50th anniversary of his debut for West Indies. So we're waiting to see if he comes on. It appears that it's coming on. So let's yes. Lobby Thompson Ronald, yes, we're just waiting. We had Viv a few weeks ago. And now
can you hear it?
we're
I'm hearing, but the volume have to turn up.
Andy Roberts on with us. I think he's almost there.
Yes. Sibo, I need my volume up and
Yes. So we're
Yeah,
looking. Okay, I think they have the great man himself. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us the greatest Andy Roberts, the man from Erlins in Antigua who made Antiguan people proud. In fact, the first West Antiguan to play Test cricket for the West Indies. The man who really started the resurgence of fast bowling in the Caribbean. And after that, we had people like Holding and Garner and Marshall and all the rest. And we just want to welcome you to our program. Good night, sir, Andy Roberts.
Good night, Lockhart. I can barely hear you.
Well, I'm hearing you clearly. We're hearing you clearly. Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear. Are you hearing me now?
Yeah, but I have to put this thing on the ear, boss.
We're hearing you loud and clear.
You are hearing me loud and clear, but I'm
But you're not hearing us.
Go ahead again. Talk again.
Are you hearing now?
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
You hearing us now, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I was just saying to listeners, we have the man. Last week was the 50th anniversary of the 50th year when you made your debut for the West Indies. You were the guy who started the resurgence of fast bowling after people like Wes Hall and Charlie Griffith left. The first Antiguan to play Test cricket. And we want to welcome you to Sports Wrap, the biggest sports show in Dominica. And together with me, I have the fellow panelists, Ronald Lander, Dr. Thompson Fountain, and Emmanuel Loblack.
Well,
you heard us, Andy?
You heard us, Andy? Welcome, Sir Andy Roberts.
He's still having difficulty. You're not hearing Andy? We seem to have lost him.
Yeah.
We seem to have lost
Yeah.
him. You
No,
hearing
you
now?
haven't lost me.
Okay. So you're hearing us now, right?
You haven't lost me here. Go ahead.
So you're
Yeah, I'm
hearing me
hearing
now,
you.
clearly, right?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay,
So go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
Let's
can't
go
say
ahead.
loud and clear, but I'm hearing you.
Yeah, but we're hearing you loud and clear. Okay, the first question to you, Andy.
I should
50
come in.
years ago, it was the 6th of March, you made your debut for West Indies against England. At the time you made the West Indies team, it was difficult from people, from the windwards and leewards, to get into the West Indies team. As a young boy coming from Erlington, Antigua, how was it at the time? How did you feel when you got selected to play for West Indies at that time in 1974?
How did I feel? You expect me to remember how I felt 50 years
Well, I
ago,
don't think
Sibo?
you have lost your mind yet. I know you still have your senses. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I felt happy, to know that the first from Antigua to be representing West Indies.
Mhm.
But after a week or so, all that happiness, turned to sorrow.
Because of where you played the Test match, right?
Not because of where I played the Test match. After I played the Test match, I felt that I bowled very well in the Test match because to me, and it's always been, wickets do not determine how well you bowl. Not
Correct.
so. So I felt I bowled well, only to be left out.
Yeah, I know.
So and
Like said, those days it was difficult from people to win West Indies to get into West Indies team.
yeah.
Yeah. It was
Well, I said to myself, listen, this is a lesson to me because I cannot be as good as these guys from Barbados, Trinidad, Jamaica, or wherever. I have to be better than them.
Mhm.
Hence, that is when I started to work hard in order to improve my game.
Mhm.
And I wish young people today would think like that because it is not what you're doing, it's how well you're going to do it and for how long you're prepared to do it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
And and as you talk about young people, I just want to say to young people out there, Andy Roberts, even probably today, never drank a beer. He worked hard at his craft. A young man wanted to excel for West Indies. You never saw him get involved in alcohol. Even today, Andy doesn't do that. So as he speaks about young people, that is a lesson for the young people out there to emulate from Andy Roberts.
It to me it was a pleasure to represent West Indies in the earlies.
Yeah, and
But now I cannot say the same pleasure is going for the youngsters from the smaller islands. There is opportunity, yes, but you have to grasp the opportunity not only when you get there, but the hardest thing is to remain there.
And and Andy, you led the revival of fast bowling in the Caribbean. Like I said, when Wes Hall left and Charlie Griffith, we never really had outstanding fast bowlers. And you were the first great fast bowler to come out after the thing. I mean, and when you came in, how were you able to? I mean, I know Mikey Holden, your very close friend. How were you able to get these guys to follow your lead and to excel for West Indies?
Well, I think we had a group of young fast bowlers who were willing to learn and to learn from everybody. Because I cannot say I learned from these guys. It's not publicized, but I learned from them because they do things that I couldn't do. So people mustn't think that I could do everything. We all had different styles, so you learn the style from the others too. Because once you are bowling, you have to bowl for the others and hope the others bowl for you too.
Yeah. Sir Andy Roberts, as a youngster, I remembered you bowling at the Botanical Gardens.
Yeah.
Very aggressive bowler in the Botanical Gardens. But when you came to field, you had your weaknesses in fielding. But you worked on that and improved tremendously on that.
But let me say something, because people with this thing, look, I am picked to get wickets. Nobody picked me to dive all around the place because I couldn't do it. Give me the ball and I'll get you wickets.
True.
So, and it's so much that people are talking today that, you have to be able to do more than one thing. But if you're doing one thing and you do it good enough, that should satisfy everyone. I don't let you down when I have the ball in my hand. If I make a few mistakes in the field, forgive me.
Yes. So I forgive you because you were an extraordinary fast bowler. My question to you is that we've got a good little young fast bowler from Antigua, Alzari Joseph. Has Cricket West Indies ever engaged you to work with him?
Cricket West Indies has never engaged. I shouldn't say. Let me say, after I retired, I worked with fast bowlers for a few years, up until when West Indies decided they're going to change their style of cricket, and instead of allowing players to develop with aid from others, they're embarking on this rigid coaching program. And I think that is where West Indies cricket fell off and continue to fall, because these guys aren't allowed to have style and technique of their own. Everything is thrust upon them by someone who may be no less than them when it comes to batting and bowling.
Indeed, Mr. Roberts, let me thank you very much for your service to West Indies cricket. But I wanted to ask you a little bit about your time in England, playing in, I believe, in Hampshire. You played for Hampshire.
I played for Hampshire. I played for Leicestershire. I learned more playing for Hampshire than Leicestershire, because when I played for Leicestershire, it was a finished product. When I played for Hampshire, it was my beginning. I learned a lot playing in the second 11, because we practice basically every day if we're not playing matches. So I took that opportunity to learn different skills.
I think you wanted to ask your question, Andy. Go on, Thompson. Yeah.
Yes, I was asking. So, how important was that experience playing against the British batsmen? How important was that when you translated that towards playing against them at the international level, or just the preparation in England to prepare you and the rest of the team for playing against at the international level in the English conditions, in the British conditions?
Yeah, that is why I was trying to explain that the opportunity I get when not playing matches is when I try to improve on my skills and try to do other things that I wasn't doing. Because coming from the Caribbean, all I know was to bowl fast. Playing the amount of county cricket that I played allows me the opportunity to experiment. Because as I say, I know I could bowl as fast as anybody at the time. In the early 70s, I could bowl as fast as anybody. But playing county cricket, I learned that pace is very important. I think that pace is more important than anything else in fast bowling, unless you're an exceptional swinger of the ball. And in England, that will work. In the Caribbean, it may work once or twice, but not on a regular basis. Because once the sun gets hot in the Caribbean, the ball won't swing as much. So
Andy,
let me finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
I realized from early that if you bowl 100, 120 miles an hour, and batsmen get accustomed to the 100 and 120 miles an hour, it's very difficult for you to dislodge them. They're comfortable. Now I realize that if you bowl at 100, 120 or whatever, and then the next ball it is 70, and then the next one is 90, and then the next one is 80. That is when the batsman is uncomfortable because he doesn't know what to expect next, because the pace is not the same every different ball. The line and the length may be the same, but not the pace.
And when you started and in the days you played, I played, the pitches in the Caribbean, like in Barbados and Jamaica, were more responsive to fast bowling. Do you think now, because of the kind of pitches we have had in the last few years, that has caused us to have a lack of pace, good fast bowlers in the Caribbean?
Well, I don't think the pitch makes a difference to fast bowling, because once the ball hits the surface, it doesn't gather pace; it slows down. So it's the pace.
We lost. Andy, you there?
I think he's still there.
We lost him.
We lost him?
Yeah, we lost him.
He's there?
No, we lost him.
Andy, you hear him?
He's coming back on.
He's come back on.
Come back on.
But that quality of bowler expressed some science in bowling. He was a fast bowler, but he said that he was very in his pace to delude the batsman.
Yeah.
He from the 120, the 80, the 90, and the batsman is wondering what's coming next. And when it comes to the 120 and the Roberts, the batsman is in problem. And this is something that I would like Andy to share with the other bowlers. Beating Antigua, the Antigua Cricket Association, and I asked him earlier on, Cricket West Indies, how can we use those quality bowlers of the past to assist current fast bowlers?
And Ron, in fact, is he on? I was going to say, Ron, you're very correct. In fact, Andy Roberts was known for having a very deceptive bouncer. A similar ball. One, he would bowl very slow.
80 and then 120.
Batsman believe that, slow bouncer he can hook, and then he would put it in the same spot, and it would just rear up at the batsman. And very often that was used to deadly effect in terms of getting wickets. So you're right. That variation we probably don't see a lot of in the modern cricketer today, if you like. That kind of
practice.
But Thompson, you talk about wickets, but the amount of people and the hit a lot of batsmen got hit.
What about you, Sibo? What's your experience, Andy?
Well, you remember it was right here, hooking for 6, right by the ministry. But because I played with him for Combine Island, when we split, at the time I hit him for 6 and the win was, now I knew he had his 2 bouncers. So you have to be careful after that. You know what's coming. You know what's coming from Andy Roberts. And I've always said, I've said it publicly, in all the fast bowlers I've played and Western have had, I would, in that order, me personally, Roberts, Marshall, Ambrose. To me, these are the top 3. in all of them that have played. With Daniel in
Not
Holding,
not
Ghana.
Holding doesn't make your top three.
No, I would go Roberts, Marshall, Ambrose. These are my top three. This is top three. Malcolm Marshall was something else. I can tell you
Yeah.
that. He was just
Malcolm was
something
quite
else.
special.
You know, I remember Marco saying to me, he said, every time he played a cricket match, his first over, he bowled 6 balls. So he bowled a bouncer, he bowled an away swinger, he bowled a slow one. So then, when he saw what the pitch did, then he knew what he had to do after that. This is a man who took 7 wickets with a broken hand, a hand in a cast. You remember that?
Yep.
A man in a
In
cast.
England.
Malcolm Marshall. No, that's how I wrote. Roberts, Marshall, Ambrose. They were the top three. Me.
But
I mean,
Was
everybody.
the guy going to the short run, coming from the short run and the long run?
Marshall started short, and then I think Malcolm was. When Malcolm made West Indies, he had only taken free wicket for Barbados. He had only taken.
In fact, Malcolm had only played one first class
Exactly.
game
3 matches.
when
3
he
wickets.
joined the West Indies team in a tour to Australia.
Mm-hmm.
He had only played one first class game. And Ron, that is what we have been talking about. And when we talked about, putting in or getting in this young Stefan Pascal, we've had instances historically where people have been blended to the West Indies team. He played one first class game. Our more recent sensation in bowling.
I think we have Andy back. Hold on, Thompson. Andy, are you back?
He's not back. No,
he's not back as yet.
Let me see if I can ask him to join us.
And Malcolm Marshall was a very small guy, a very small body guy for a fast bowler. And it was very.
I think that is what was so deceptive about him. He did not get a lot of bounce, but I guess because of his height, he was able to somehow confuse batters.
Okay, I think we have him back. Andy, you back?
Yes, he's back.
Andy,
he's back, but
yes, are you hearing us?
No song.
Lost him again.
Yeah, lost him again.
Yeah, we lost him again.
Oh.
But Thompson, that's a very important point you're making. When you spot talent very early, you must promote it, manage it, and promote it. That's why I'm saying that, as you just said, that young Pascal supposed to be promoted. You see the young talent. Malcolm Marshall only played 1 game, and they saw the young talent in him, and he went on to excel. Unfortunately, he didn't stay around for too longer. But
who, Marshall?
Marshall
didn't stay around for long. Marshall played at least 10 years.
10 years, but
of course.
He died.
Well, he died young at 41.
Yeah.
He died young. Well, it was a shock. I never forgot that day when the announcement came. I mean, in fact, I remember Wes Hall saying, first time he saw, he referred to Greenish and Haynes, 2 grown men collapsed by the bed. Wes Hall was this big orator. Always had some fancy language, and then when he gave the speech, but it was something else. But Marshall died young, 41 years.
Sebastian.
Yeah.
While we're talking about Landa, talking about talent, you must not forget the quality of cricket in Barbados at that time was exceptional.
They could feel that it was in this team, Barbados alone.
This team.
But still, and Thompson in Barbados, cricket is a way of life in Barbados.
Oh, yeah.
No,
It's not to know. It's a way of life.
No, but just now, also in Dominica, when Sebastian came from England, Celtic was a very strong team, and he joined Celtic. He put in the hard work. We saw the hard work. He was, in the league in particular, the name, Sebastian batted in his league, and then he moved to the Windward Islands, and he never looked back. He never looked back.
Let's take a call, guys. Good night.
Hey, good night, gentlemen.
Good night, sir.
Just want to say something on Andy. I remember the 1975-76 series in Australia, second take at first. That's one of the fastest fast bowling spells the world have ever seen. When Andy Roberts routed Australia. I think West Indies give them a 2 for 1. Remember that same test, Frederick hit 169. I think Andy takes 7 wickets. And he probably take around 10 or something in the match, but that was fast bowling. And after that test, Thompson gave him a challenge. Thompson tell him, let us see who's taking the most wickets in the series, but Andy never paid no mind to Thompson. But that spell at Perth, 1975-76 series, was one of the fastest
fast bowling spell you will have ever seen. Great Andy Roberts at Troy, Australia. Remember, in a further down the road, he had broken David Hook's jaw, River Bunker.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, gentlemen.
Well, the only person I saw bowl faster than Andy Roberts would have been Patrick Patterson. All you guys have done. I don't think I've done. I remember there was a guy we were playing against Barbados. Winslow Ashby opening the batting for Barbados and Andy Roberts running to bowl. And Hugo was bowling at the other hand and Ashley drove the ball to long off. It was an easy free runs and he refused to run free, because he never played for Barbados again after that. They never picked him again. He decided no way he was going to face Andy at the other end. No way. Winslow Ashby. We have another caller. Good evening.
What's up? Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah, listen to the program. And Andy said something there which I've been saying a long time. And even when it comes to this new sensation, Shama Joseph.
Right.
West Indians were always very attacking players.
Mm-hmm.
And when they go to them coaches somehow, they want to change their style. Mm-hmm. Let the man play.
Mm-hmm.
And even this new sensation, this fella, let the man bowl. Don't go and tell the man about line and length from the cat. Let the man bowl. He has it and let him bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And he made the point, and I've been saying that in all sports, once you see a man natural, let him play his game.
True.
You guide him, but when you want to change, and that is what has happened to West Indian players, because West Indian players have always been attacking.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing, now that man trying to play correct and correct this and correct that. And no, let's attack.
No, you are a coach. You are a coach, so you know about that. You know about that.
That's what I'm saying, Sibo. Let the guys attack and train Bulletin to run Sean Lobby. And Thompson.
You guys heard, the coach talking to you all, Thompson, Lobby, Ronald? You don't pick up the voice?
No. Yes, that's Leslie, huh?
No, it's Nevis. Nevis, all you can pick up voice, man. Killing Marcellus Lee.
Yeah, but the important thing is managing the player. You allow him to develop his talent, but you've got to manage him to improve on what he's doing.
Yeah, but in the management range, you don't try to change the man, let him bat or let him bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Because West Indian players always had that kind of flair to beat the ball, and you want to change you. No. And that's what I hope this new sensation with Chama Judy, them guys are going to try and change the man, let him bowl. You know what I mean? Because that's what has happened to our sports when they come in. They go to the schools and then they come back and they cripple. Mm-hmm. I remember, Timo, I don't know the guy, Charles Walters from Portsmouth.
Yes.
I remember. When the man came up from England, that was it.
You mean,
Charles. It's Charles Walters.
Walters, yeah, Charles Walters.
Yeah.
When the man came back from England, that was it, Mm-hmm. The man was beating ball up and down the place, and next thing where was the Avgrove it was?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Walters went to Avgrove. I know he played in the league. Huh?
He went to England.
Yeah, he went to England. He did go to England. Yeah.
And then when the man came back from England, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How come he never changed Sibo?
Well, there was this story about Viv, Viv had gone to Alfgover too, and when Viv came back, they asked Viv, what did you learn by Alfgover? And well, I can't say what he said. He said, I wouldn't say what he did, the final not a whatever, I wouldn't say it. But and it was a big joke. He said, Viv, why you learn at Alfgover? Me not learn nada. And well, let me not say what it is. Let's leave it alone.
My brother, are you still involved in any sports? Tilling, are you involved in any sports right now? Are you involved in any sports?
Well, yeah, I still do some coaching and stuff, But the issue as we have with them young players right now, fellas don't like to train. For the life of me, I just cannot understand. I mean, I'm working with a team and the guys excuses why they cannot come to train. But match night, you have too many players. I tell them I have to stay away from that because it doesn't make sense. And something, but I say, well, listen, I don't know what the problem is, but I cannot for the life of me understand why them young players, they don't want to train.
Yeah, I know, man. It's a problem.
They don't want to train.
It's a problem.
They give all kind of excuses, but match day, they want to come and perform. And then they tell the coach that.
It's interesting that Marcellus says that because I was listening to some commentaries earlier today on the West Indies, and one of the commentators was talking about Colin Croft, when he was playing for the West Indies team, that he would have
Right.
to he would have to travel 5 miles every day, and he would have to run. He would run those 5 miles to come and play cricket. And on the days when they were not training, he would still run the 5 miles. And that's how fit they were. That's how committed they were.
I live
That
in an
is
area.
fast bowling is hard work.
Yeah, listen. I live in an area which is about a mile and a half or so, a mile and a half from the main park. And I drive in down there, and then guys start me down. Coach, I need a list to. I say, but listen, run down to the park, and by the time you get there, you well home and ready. They said, I said, no, I'm not giving anybody no list to go train. Because that's what we should do. You run down to the park, you well
Yep.
there, and then you go to your list. But they want to list to the park. And I, well,
Yeah.
There's still hope anyway, but it's kind of hard.
Yeah, thanks, Dylan. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. Guys, we're going to try and get to speak to the sports teacher of the college now. As you know, the college won the under-20 finals. I finished yesterday. I mean, it was a big, in fact, what's the name? The Northeast were very disappointing in the second inning. They didn't get
Sorry, there is somebody who wanted to make a point on Andy Roberts, and he's been trying for the longest while, and he's been able to reach me. So can we just put him through?
Oh, he's on now?
Yes, he's on. Go ahead.
Well, go on, yeah.
Good night, Sibo Lobe. Good night, gentlemen.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of the things, two things I remember with Andy Roberts is that 7 for 54 at Perth. And in a World Cup match against Pakistan, the last wicket stand between himself and Derek Murray to beat Pakistan and to see a victory for West Indies. Though he didn't make the team as a batsman, but looking at him play that innings, I think that was very good for West Indies. I just wanted to make these 2 points, and that bowling at Perth there, 7 for 54, I just wanted to put it in on Andy Roberts. But in terms of the 3, I noticed you have Roberts as your number 1. Was that in chronological order? Because I always have Marshall as first.
No, Marshall Roberts was one, man. I mean, I played against all of them, and to me, Roberts was the best. Roberts was number 1 to me, Andy Roberts.
Okay. But in terms of bowling average as compared to Marshall?
Well, Marshall is the best. Marshall and Ambrose and Ghana, in fact. Joel Ghana probably had the best average of all of them. So Joel, Malcolm, Ambrose, these 3 under 21, 20 point something, 21 points, yeah, these 3.
But not taking anything from Roberts. Roberts was one of the best fast bowlers by any standards.
Well, you were the grandfather this year.
Very good. And listen to me. I heard Sunil Gavaskar making that point in terms of fast bowling. He has Roberts as the number 1, eh?
Well, he more than anybody else could say that. He made so many runs against us. So Sunil Gavaskar,
yeah.
He made hundreds of runs against us.
He rated Roberts as number 1.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man.
All right. Thanks very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We have with us the coach of the college team. Is that your title, sir?
I'm the sports coordinator.
The sports coordinator of that's Mr. Cleven Vidal. This Dominica State College. Right. And you were the guy that was in charge of the cricket team, right?
Yes, I am.
Well, you all guys won the cup. Well, I can just give the scores so that people can hear. Well, the Northeast Comprehensive, they made 148 batting first. Tusa made 107. Jason Vidal took 4 for 59.
148 and one guy made how much?
107. Yeah, Tusa. And then the college replied with 308. Edmund Morancy made 100. Kyle George 66. Kyron Phillips 71. Darren Tusa took 4 for 48. Batting a second time, the Northeast Comprehensive were bowled out for 47. Joseph took 5 for 21. So let's congratulate you. By the way, Thompson Dr. Fountain is there, Low Black and London, the other fellow panelists. You heard me?
Good night, everybody.
Right, okay.
Good night.
First question, did you all go undefeated throughout the whole season, this college?
Yes, we did. The only team we actually didn't give 2-for-1, and we have not given 2-for-1 since myself coaching college is my alma mater, Castlebrooke Secondary.
You mean everybody else, you beat them by an innings, right? Every other team?
Yeah, every other team I beat them by an innings throughout this season.
But even when I work in sports and Low Black, some people might say, well, college, they're expected to do that. Because all the players, when they come from the second, they go to the college. So people might say college is expected to do that. Would you agree?
I would agree and disagree at the same time.
Hmm.
Like I explain every time somebody brings that up. When I was going to secondary school, college never beaten me in any sport, and that's because when I went to school, my coach spent a lot of time, and that's why one of the
On
reasons
training. There was
I've never
training.
yes, I've never beaten Castlebrooks 2-for-1 because they always draw the game, and it's only because of time. And I believe sometimes if they had more time, they maybe would have taken the game from me. But when school put the effort and the training in, and because the boys work a long time together in the high school setup, and the boys at college, they only spend like a few weeks together. Some of them don't even stay that long. It's different. So I get a team and just gel them, and you have a team that works together for years. Which one do you think should win a game?
Let me ask you though. How often did your team practice? How often?
Well, with the college setup, we don't really practice because we don't have a venue.
Well, but that's a shame. Now, hear what you're saying. You don't practice at all. Gentlemen, are you hearing that?
So that's why I said if teams practice, they should be able to beat us.
But let me say to you, Mr. Vidal, we a lot of people here follow college sports in the state, and you see the amount of people that come and watch a college. In fact, I personally went to a game once in Virginia. There's a football game. There were over 50,000 people there. And what I find, here you are, the teacher at the state college, and you're saying you don't practice at all.
Well, you also have to understand the big colleges that you went to support overseas.
Not support, I went to watch, not support.
You went to watch overseas. They have a team around them. They have a coach, a head
Train
coach,
facilities.
a trainer, a physio, a medic, and I'm the only person that does all these things for college, for all the sports at the college.
But have you brought that up with the principal and whoever else in charge up there?
Well, it's clear that it's something that has been talked about, but it's also something that also boils down to the big picture, and that's financing. Money is scarce. We run under the government right now, so we cannot source extra hands. And we all know in Dominica as well, if something has to be cut off from the school system, guess what goes first, though?
You mean the sports?
The sports.
well, when we started the program, that's what we spoke about. And Thompson and Loblick, I'm sure you and Ronald, here is the gentleman, sports teacher, saying, to me, these people have no use for sports. Here is a college team. They don't practice at all.
Yeah, a college team without a sports facility.
You have to be specific, cricket.
Okay, so you don't practice for cricket?
Because we don't have the venue, and with the time is against us because most of the students have classes throughout the day. It's very rare that we can get them all together to practice. And on a weekend, if I have to do a training for anybody, which I have done before, that's on my personal time. I would not be getting paid for that. And I do have trainings on Saturdays as well when it needs to be. So I go above and beyond for the sport at the college when I have to.
Yes. Coach Vidal, I visited a lecture at the State College, Course and Management Accounting, and Jason Vidal is one of my students. I've been getting some very good reports about him. What's your general impression of Jason and his future in cricket?
Well, Jason Vidal, if you didn't know...
Are you related to him? Are you related to him?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Jason Vidal is my cousin. So I've known him from a very young age and loving cricket. He played a number of different sports before, and he told me that one of the coaches told him that if he wants to be good at any sport, he has to choose one. And he chose cricket. And from the day he chose cricket, he always was an open-minded young fella that just was willing to learn and develop himself in the game of cricket. He was called one sweet bread because every time he bowls, he would get 6 and 4s. Before now, Jason is the one taking the majority of the wickets for the Dominica State College. And
what is the spinner or fast bowler?
Left-arm spinner. Left-arm spinner.
Left-arm spinner. And the majority wickets, when the captain needs wicket, he goes to Jason.
Question, Mr. Vidal. You said you would practice on a Saturday, on and off. Where would you go and have a cricket practice?
Well, we'd go to the Botanical Gardens to have a cricket practice. Most of the other sports, it varies depending on where it's available and where the students are from. So I have to take all this into consideration.
But let me ask you, when you travel to play, in terms of like the bus, how do you all travel? Would they provide transportation in the college?
No, sports division provides the transportation. However,
Okay, as usual.
Sports division provide transportation from the school to the venue. However, when we come out from games, the college do provide transportation, that extra transportation to bring students home.
Okay. Okay. But what incentive is there for the students? Okay, you all won the championship. You say you don't. What incentive? How do you, like points at the college? Do they have an assembly where they congratulate the students and so for winning the championship?
Okay, well, before there was no talk on sports, like sports wasn't really advertised at the school, whether we win, we lose, we draw. Nobody would know. But with my new supervisor, Miss Ashma McDougall, she's a big person in advertising and all of that. So she's pushing them right now on all college platforms, Facebook, Instagram. So once they play a game, once they perform, if they don't perform, it gets posted so they get recognized by the school in that way. And there's also a system where to graduate you need hours, like voluntary service hours. And I bargained on the sports side, and right now any student that participates in sports for the college, cricket, volleyball, whatever it may be, they get the hours based on the length of the time which game is played. For cricket, for example, they get hours from the start of the game, which is about 9 o'clock, to the end of the game, which is 5:30, and that hours would be added on to the 100 hours they need to complete the course. So that's one of the incentives that they get. So playing sports, giving them, so it's almost like you're getting paid to play sports, they get hours to play sports.
Well, I will celebrate Jason in my class on Monday morning. I'll feature him. I will give him special recognition as a sportsman for winning the competition for the college.
All right, thank you, sir.
Well, you know, when you see your team has a lot, Kyron Phillip is a good player, you know, and these guys playing
Very
cricket.
good player.
Yeah, the captain, and then you have Justin.
What does he do?
He's an all-rounder. Kyron's an all-rounder. He plays in intermediate for the team from Portsmouth, I think. I think he played intermediate cricket. So he's the captain, in fact. So, but the only sad thing I'd say, here you have a team, no practice at all, not the fault of Mr. Vidal, and it's a shame that's happening.
At that level of
a
education.
team that goes to play, no practice at all. It's just a shame. But Mr. Vidal, we just want to congratulate you and continue doing what you have to do. And I just want to say thank you for agreeing to join us on the program.
Thank you, sir, and it was my pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah, guys, but you know, guys, the same thing we're talking about. It's a shame. Well, Ronald teaches at the college. Ronald, you have to do something about that. You cannot have a team that's not practicing. That's a joke.
I visited a lecture.
Huh?
I visited a lecture for Sukwelame.
My goodness.
I'm making a contribution to the development of young people for a Sukwelame.
Don't worry. Before we let me just give the scores of the 40. Combined campuses made 273. Goodrich made 75. Henry 73. Doran took 4 for 47 for the Leewards. Leewards were bowled out for 259. Kyron Powell made 114. Romaria Groves took 5 for 63. The CCC batted the second time, 76 for 3. Before I go to the other scores, guys, something happened yesterday. First time I've seen that. I played cricket, I followed. One guy, but let me give the scores and we'll come back to that. Guyana made 436. Anderson 87, Imlach 55, Sinclair 72, and Permal batting at number 8 made 19 not out. Barbados 53 for 3 at the close. By the way, Jason Holder played there, took 2 for 52, and Kima Roach 2 for 52. Windward Islands batting first, 191, Afanas 56, Ambrose 35, and the batting a second time, 68 for 2 at the close. For Trinidad, with 294. Webster
Is Calvin Hodge still in?
No, he got out for a duck in second inning.
Got out for duck.
Only scored a duck in second inning. Webster 107 not out. Mohammed 56. Demba took 5 for 63. In fact, I was a bit surprised. The Windwards changed the team, drop an opener, drop a batsman, brought in a bowler. But the bowler took 5 wickets. I was a bit surprised at that because, you know, if something is working, don't change it. I was surprised they would drop a batsman and be very surprised, drop the opening batsman. The West Indies Academy made 324. Dawn made 83. Johnson Jordan Johnson made 61. Duval Green 2 for 48. Jamaica, the last score about 10 minutes ago, was 280 for 6. Brandon King, back playing red ball cricket, made 77. And Leroy logged 64. But what I was going to say to you, Russian Primus played the first pre-matches for CCC. So Barbados now have brought in their test players, Roach, Reefer, and Jason Holder. And Primus is now playing for CCC. I find that, I've never heard of that. A guy in the same competition playing for 2 different teams. I've never heard of that, honestly.
You see, that's why we said you can make a way. The same argument we've been having over and over again.
When I saw that happen, I messaged the director of cricket and he was in his board, and I asked him, "What is that?" Well, he did have an explanation. Say I wouldn't play it on the radio, but man, it made no sense. That is shocking that something like that. Apparently, he said that they have some rules that allow that, and I've never heard of that. Particularly when you're playing for points and there's prize money, the winner gets prize money. So how does a guy play for 2 different teams in the same competition? I've never heard of that, honestly.
But Sibo, look at the quality of cricket now in Barbados.
Yeah.
Barbados is not excelling, but you have Bajans on all different teams. Bajans on Windwards,
all over the
Bajans on Leewards, Bajans on CCC, and Bajans on West Indies school team. And then we got that quality player who was the captain of West Indies under 19 in Dominica. Stefan Pascal shoot. And you just made that crucial point there because Barbados is representing their players. They are lobbying for their players. And somebody needs to lobby for Stefan Pascal to get, even if he's not playing, but to be around with the people playing at that level so he can benefit from the experience. And this is very important.
Was dropped an opener, so there's room. If you want to make room, you can make room.
Well, Zai just asking an important question. He's asking,
is that Cesar Emmanuel?
Cesar Emmanuel, who always listens to the program. Why is there no review system in the West Indies for the cricket? That is a very good question.
Good point.
Afanas got out LBW yesterday. The ball was up pitch about 7 feet outside the line. There's no way that could have been out in any cricket match. Did you see it, Thompson? But that was shocking. You saw it, right?
I couldn't believe it.
When the umpire gave the man out, I was wondering if that was a joke. There was no way that could have been out in any cricket match. The LBW yesterday. Then there was Springer hit a guy plumb in front, and man, that very good. In fact, I messaged Liam last night. What is going on? He told me he did go to the umpires about that, the manager, because it was horrible, man. In fact, even in the women's competition in St. Kitts, I saw this usual guys where a girl, they hit the stumps. The girl is about a foot from the thing, and the umpire says not out. Clearly run out. And the umpire, I'm saying, but what the hell is this? And that's a very good question. Why? Because it's pointless. You have TV, you have umpires, and umpires playing the fool like that. Honestly, it makes no sense.
Yeah, and also, and I see they have all the capability because they slow down the play. They repeat the play, they do the replay, so they have the capabilities, to do it. I was looking at the games on YouTube, and all is just to know that they can catch the games, Sibo, on YouTube.
Right. Yeah.
All the games have been aired live on YouTube. If you do Windies.com or Windies Cricket, you'll get the games, And I've been following, and it's good reception. They do the replays, so I'm sure they can do some kind of capability. Even for the runouts, at least the runouts. It's very easy to replay a runout and see if it's out or not,
But how could an umpire give that out yesterday? The LBW, I just couldn't. That was shocking, man. In fact, Afan himself was even stunned. When the umpire did it, he didn't realize he gave him out. He didn't know.
Yeah,
he couldn't believe it.
But Sibo, Sebastian.
Yes, sir.
We went in at lunch at 84 for 3, and we just collapsed. We
won 144 for 4, and they collapsed 144. Anyway, Lobby, as we close up your sport, we have Godwin Dossett on the line. He's going to tell us what happened in the athletics today. Good night, sir. Godwin? Godwin, are you there?
Hello, good night.
Good night, Godwin. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Yes.
Well, Ronald Lander is here. Dr. Fontaine is here. Lobby is here. right?
Okay.
Well, you have to tell us. As we close down this show tonight, the athletics. What happened today? Tell us something.
Okay, well, the secondary schools athletics championship took place today. Today was the first day of the competition, 2-day competition. And we had 13 schools participating in this competition today. At the end of that day one, in the boys category, we had the Dominica Grammar School with 99 points, followed by the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School with 77.5 points. NECS came in third place with 68 points, and the Casabou Secondary School with 52 points. Other schools making the round are PSS with 47, Goodwill Secondary School 28. In the girls division, we had with 153 points the Dominica Grammar School. In second place, we had the Northeast Comprehensive with 97.8. In third place, Isaiah Thomas Secondary Schools with 90 points. And in fourth place, PSS 53. Casabou Secondary follow with 39 points. So these were the most outstanding schools for the first day of competition. The competition will continue tomorrow from 9:30, where we will see most of the final events in the discus, in the 100 and 400 meter, as well as the triple jump for boys and girls opened. All of the relays will be run tomorrow, meaning 4x4 and 4x100 meters, just so there will be some exciting action tomorrow at Winter Park.
Well, any records broken today, Godwin?
Yeah.
Any records were broken today?
No, there were really no records broken today. We had some good performances. I believe, all in all, Jeriel Francis of the Dominica State College was the closest to the character standard of what we see. He's supposed to throw 15-20, and he was in the region of 14-89 in the shot put. All right.
What category?
In the under 20 boys. In the under 20 boys.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Long jump in the pit. So where you all jumping, doing long jump and triple jump?
In long jump, we jumping at the grammar school area.
Well, you all still have they still have access. So the pit is still there.
Yeah, the pit is still there. We have started some work on it, and there's some finishing touch to be done, but we are still able to use it today.
So the kids have access to practice there?
Well, yes, the sports division organized so that the schools before the event could get a chance to go in and do some practice. That is those that are really interested.
Interested. That's very very interested to
so
hear.
Sometimes you provide it, but sometimes some people not really interested.
No, you have to work with time. What about school is in the afternoon? Schools look from 8 to 1. Yeah.
Well, the schools give their times, and we requested on their behalf. So we did.
So what about shot put? Is the circle still there?
Well, no, there's some development taking place now, so there have some a bit of changes. But I guess we will organize it again.
You said about development. The public must understand that the circle was there. I was there for Carnival in Dominica, and I passed by the link road, and I was shocked looking at the further disruption.
Because if there is nothing further, I don't believe I can hold for that discussion.
Okay, Godwin. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. It was nice. At least you could give us something, and I hope everything works out for you all tomorrow. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Sebastian.
Yes.
Sibo,
yeah.
I'm just laughing.
Well, the
And when
guy
I was
said
there
he
for the
can't stay, so
carnival,
we can't force him. I mean,
I passed by Link Road, and as I said, we had this circle there, and they put a generator where the shot put landing. When I passed there, the Link Road, I was amazed. I'm seeing this they're digging in the center again, more disruption again. I mean, do you? I mean, what is happening?
yeah, I know. Well, guys, we can't close before we talk about two test matches that the humiliation of England, with their ass ball business, they're coming up, the ass ball.
Basketball.
Well, you say bad, I say ass ball because stupidity, men do it. You didn't see a man get out the second in the opener, comes down the wicket to Ashwin and makes a wild slug and gets bowled. And people tell me that's basketball. Did you see it, Thompson?
No, well, you see, it's
You'll have done
possible. I think, in a way, it's an experiment, and with
Yeah.
experiments, they either work or they don't.
Right.
I think they're still experimenting. So they do those kind of things because they try to push back. I mean, Ollie Pope, for example, Ollie Pope almost scored a double century. I think got 196 in one
Yeah.
game. But he never showed up for the other
In
other
9
inning.
innings after that, he didn't total
He
100
did
runs.
not show up at all.
He
And you
didn't
wonder
aggregate
why.
100. Yeah.
You wonder why. So, I think the English team, I mean, Stokes never showed up in this series. So you have to wonder what's going on within the English team, and,
Yeah, but Thompson would agree that you cannot come with this theory that you're going to be think you can beating people ball all over the place because you're not playing people ball in underarm to you. These are high class world spinners. And you will
world-class
struggle, yeah?
world-class spinners.
World-class spinners. So you have to have a different approach. It cannot
Yeah.
be left go if you can beat them guys. Like, as you talk about Stokes looked all at sea in the last 3 matches. He gets
Yeah.
goal pushing forward. He didn't have a clue. And England, in fact, what's his name? Besto tried the last 2 matches to decide, well, let me hit my way out of trouble.
Oh,
That's
right.
all he
That's what he tried. Yeah.
That's what they tried. But they were humbled, I would think, and they have to have a different approach. Now, the other match, New Zealand let Australia off the hook. New Zealand
I
let
know.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed. In fact,
Me too.
I started staying up to watch this game, and
Yeah.
I got after I in disgust. I went to sleep. I couldn't believe. I was so sure they were going to beat Australia after having them 77 for 4 at one stage.
But
They
the
let them
first ball of the night, didn't you see it? An easy catch to, what's his name,
Yeah.
Ravindra, and drops it, and the guy goes on to make 81. An easy catch, man. Man,
And the captain
You know,
giving
but-
the Scott come run.
yeah, you're right.
But
Cummins.
also, it shows how Australia is resilient. Even in the first innings, Cummins got how much? 53, I believe, or 56 in the first inning. So these guys, I mean, Australia, man, I don't know.
And you know,
They're
Carey, the
really-
wicketkeeper, they were even talking about dropping him. I remember that because he hadn't scored
Yes,
runs.
yes,
And
yes,
he comes in
yes.
and 98 not out. Man, I tell you.
98.
Man. Something else. But I was very disappointed that but guys, everything stops now in terms of Test cricket. The IPL started Friday.
IPL.
For the next 10 weeks, we're going to be bombarded with this thing on television every single day.
But see,
Uh,
but the Pakistani
the
league is very
PSL
Oh, big too. It's big.
and the attendance is good.
Did you see?
That's good.
Did you see Ivy
But-
Richards? Did you see
run
that?
onto the field. And Sammy is
But
on
also, yeah, I mean, the PSL is doing well as well.
talking to his players.
Sammy lost today's team, but they still have a chance.
Sammy
because
team lost today, so
they lost today badly. Yeah, but Viv's team playing tomorrow to try and get to the.
but Sammy's team still stand a
Sammy's
chance,
team.
No, they still have a
They
chance. They
will
play the winner of Viv's team tomorrow.
They will play the winner
in-
tomorrow. They
Yeah,
still
yeah.
stand a chance to go to the finals. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still a big league. The Pakistan
Yeah,
T20 is big.
well participated,
And
and so on.
But the
But,
big ones
to me,
are next
I
Friday.
did not see any Indian players in the
Indians
league.
never
Did I
go
But
see
you will
anyone?
never see that, Thompson. Thompson, the
Very
only
special.
Indian that has played out of India for last 20 years. One guy who played in the CPL 3 years ago, and it was a 40-something-year-old man. No Indian will be allowed. But you have to admire the Indian system. Shreyas Iyer and what's his name, the keeper, Ishan Kishan, they were established contracted players. They were warned they have to play in the 4-day competition. They didn't do it. They have lost their contract. They have since lost their contract with the BCCI. And the BCCI have now offering extra incentives for Test cricket. So that's how serious. So men will be making plenty more money, and because they want to keep their Test cricket win. So they warn them, you must play for your state. You don't play, you will lose your contract.
But one of the best batsmen on the Jamaican team He's not playing now because he's gone to Sri Lanka to play in the Sri Lanka Premier League.
Which one you talking
What's
about?
his name? He's been scoring all the runs. His name doesn't come to mind immediately.
Bonner, you mean? Blackwood? Well, Blackwood.
Blackwood
is scoring no run. He got
Blackwood
not today again. Brendan King?
Not Brendan King. Brendan King is the captain now.
No, well, yeah, but he was playing up there, you know. That's Brendan's first match, you know.
First game.
He was playing up there as well.
First game.
Yeah.
It doesn't come to mind, but I followed it today on a report.
Well, Rothman Powell is playing in Pakistan. Well, he played today.
Yeah, he's a 2020
Yeah, today.
But in closing,
But I noticed that Pant is coming back into cricket after.
Yeah, well, he's going to play the IPL, captain the Delhi Capital, and
This
he's
really
going to as well.
Quite remarkable.
Well, it will be a big thing when because this guy is something else, eh? Rishabh Pant is something else. Yeah, so as we close up, guys.
In closing, what I really want to say is that as I go around, we're getting some very great reviews from members of the public. We need to maintain a high quality program. We need to, Sibo, at some time recognize the fans on a rotation.
Oh yeah, we haven't done that
We
for a
need to do
while.
that.
Yeah.
Earlier today, I was with my dentist, Dr. Williams, and he gave raving reviews of what is happening. I got messages from Dr. Jonathan Prevost and Vivian Rainey said they're listening tonight. And we need to recognize our fans.
Donald, good night, by the way. Donald.
In closing,
Mr.
I want to recognize the three most important ladies in my life. My mother, Roman Lander, my wife, Desiree Lander, and my granddaughter, Skylar Lander. I go now.
Yes, so Thompson, the lobby. Yeah,
Gentlemen, all the best.
Yeah, man.
Why can't we show us stay safe as usual?
Yeah, so let's say on behalf of Ronald Lander, Thompson Fontaine, Doctor, by the way, Emmanuel Loblack, and DJ Shan, we want to say good night to everybody. You'll hear us again next week.
Sports Wrap, your dynamic, riveting weekly sports show on Q95. The entire Caribbean is listening to Sports Wrap on the big station every Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. with renowned veteran sports commentator and retired magistrate Ozzie Lewis, famous cricketer and sports analyst Lockhart Sibo Sebastian. Sports Wrap, your one-stop shop for unique, inclusive, in-depth analysis of local, regional, and international sports, bringing you the best in sports debate and up-to-the-minute information and statistics. Sports Wrap, every Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. 2 exciting hours of pure, exciting sports talk. The experts are in the house. Sports Wrap, every Thursday evening, only on the big station, only on Q95. Lock it in.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe,